Hey everyone, Man of Tomorrow here with another video, and I'll be talking about Smallville, both the TV series and the first issue of season 11. First, on the TV series, I have praise and criticism. For the positive feedback on the show, I felt the acting was done fairly well. I came across some actors on the show that I later became fans of. Some being Erica Durance, who plays Lois Lane. I felt she did a great job with the character. In fact, she's my favorite actress to portray Lois Lane, with Terry Hatcher being in distant second, in my personal opinion. There's also Sam Witwer, who later went on to be involved with Star Wars and the series that he's currently involved with which is the remake of Being Human, which was done by the BBC company in the UK. A couple of good regulars from the show that I became fans of, and Tom Welling, of course. Those are positive things. I felt that they really expanded on the character of Clark Kent later on in the show, of what makes Clark Kent, the persona of Superman. Though I still wish they had Tom Welling wear the suit. The CGI suit felt like a cop-out, like a slap to the face to people who waited for a long time and felt that they were going to see the suit. In fact, they even had a suit made. I don't know if it was a complete suit, but they showed it. It was shown in season 10. So why would they do that if they were just going to go with the whole CGI aspect? And, I don't blame Tom Welling for that. From the information I got online was that Brian Peterson and Kelly's, I believe her last name is Solder, they're the ones who felt that, in this absurd sense of logic, that Clark Kent and Superman are two separate things. Like, in story-wise, I believe that's what they were saying. That Superman would be a separate point of the show. It doesn't make any sense at all. But, in other criticism of the show, I don't like how Lana Lang was portrayed in the 10-year run that I saw it on TV, first from the WB and then CW. Lana Lang became a very whiny character, rather annoying in some points. They came up with some insane ideas for stories for her, like one was a witch. She had an ancestor witch come into the picture, and then there was cloning. But the thing that really annoyed me with Lana Lang was that she learned martial arts in like a week. That personally got under my skin, because I actually took martial arts when I was a teenager, from when I was 16 to when I was 19. I took up Taekwondo, and I reached the point where I was preparing for my black belt test, and then the lease for the building that my head instructor was running, couldn't make I believe the payments. I don't know what the deal was, but the lease was lost, and training there stopped and couldn't really find another location. But basically, my title there was assistant instructor. There were times when I ran some classes, not, when I was involved in a class, that there might have been a time when I would be starting the class and then ending it. And even before that, I was even at some point in one of my younger ranks where I was instructing younger students, mentoring them, doing tasks with them, we're going to do this set of movements or this form or yada yada, that kind of thing. It felt a privilege to teach others. I enjoyed it. So to have it be crapped on with how they portrayed Lana Lang was an insult to the art, whether it be karate or Muay Thai or any form of martial art was basically spit in the face. It offended me, okay? Just that. I mean, if they actually did a few episodes where they were expanding her learning martial arts, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But they basically implied that she learned it in a week. That pissed me off, okay? Then later on with the show, at some point between season 8 and 10, this being season 9, because in season 8 some people didn't like Chloe for how she was going about with the whole Doomsday thing. I gave her a pass, but I got offended with her, with the character during season 9, because she was doing things behind Clark's back, and she wasn't really honoring the friendship. It made no sense to her, because she, at that point, she had been a friend of Clark for many years. In fact, she was a friend of Clark since 8th grade. So that's a long history of friendship there. And to just, not confide to him and tell him plans that she was trying to set forth doing, just without any regard to his opinion, doing it behind his back. And it was things that affected him. That to me, it had me wondering, what were the people behind the show trying to tell us? Were they trying to intentionally make Chloe an unlikable character? And then there's the whole thing of the Oliver and Chloe relationship, which I'm not against the relationship. I just asked for elaboration, because when I heard the commentary for the episode Lazarus for season 10, they pretty much said in the commentary that they were behind the idea of Chloe and Oliver being a couple. I call bullshit on that, because they didn't even elaborate on the character, the two characters in season 9. It's like they didn't have any plans for Oliver and Chloe for an arc. And they went to the Krypton site forum and noticed that some people were saying that they hope that these two get together, and they think that they would make a good couple. And right from there they go, okay, we'll make them an item in season 9. During, or to be more specific, at the end of Roulette in season 9, I saw a little spark between the two characters, that maybe some relationship might happen. But from then, nothing is really put forth and elaborated on that they're falling for each other. In fact, looking back on the season, it was just a friends with benefits, because when Oliver goes to confront Chloe about using his money for her own agenda, he goes to her place and he point blank says to her after turning down the radio that this isn't a booty call. And I remember looking at the screen at my TV, seeing this for the first time and going, what the hell is Oliver talking about? What booty call? When have they been having sex? I was never informed. I paid close attention to the season, just like any other. And I saw no signs that these two were getting into any kind of a relationship. So I'm going, when have they been fooling around? And even then, by the end of season 9, when Oliver and Chloe said their I love yous, I don't genuinely feel that it was real. That the two characters genuinely loved each other, because it had been only maybe a few months after they really started to try to become a couple and take it, instead of it just being about sex. Don't think that should have happened. But aside from that relationship there, the show is pretty good. There's episodes I enjoy. I still watch the show on DVD here. They didn't put it on Blu-ray. There were some individual seasons that they put on Blu-ray, but not for the entire collection here, which I have. And going on to the comic here, I felt it was the art and story was pretty well done. It's set 6 months after the finale ended, though not immediately after the ending scene of the show. This is set 6 months after Clark became Superman, and he's out saving people. And Oliver and Chloe are married, and Lois and Clark, they're still engaged. They've just they postponed the wedding. And the only thing that I have to nitpick about is Lex, when he meets up with Clark, or actually bumps into Clark when they're out getting coffee, he, for no reason, brings up that they were friends in the past. Sort of like a question. We were friends in the past at one time, weren't we? And Clark was surprised that he would mention that. And I'm rather surprised that it was even brought up in the issue at all, because if I recall, in the finale, Tess wiped Lex's memory. This was done to basically prevent the break of the whole mythology rule that Lex Luthor does not know what who Superman is. His secret identity is. I haven't read any further comics. I don't know if Lex ever does in the comics learn that Clark Kent is Superman, but to have Lex recall that he was friends with Clark in the past, isn't that pretty much setting up that he would recognize Superman being Clark? Because in the early years, Clark wasn't wearing glasses when he was even when he stopped being friends with Lex, he still wasn't wearing glasses. So that pretty much would have Lex Luthor, in all common sense, he would be going, well, you know, after seeing Superman do a deed or fly off somewhere, go, well, there's Clark off to save the day. Wouldn't make it any sense to have that in the issue. It seems like a breaking in continuity. But I still enjoyed it. I liked how they did the art. Based the art off the actors. Have Lois look like Erica Durant. Clark look like Tom Welling. I don't gripe about the suit at all. I actually like it, you know, even though Clark is not wearing the red briefs the way the traditional Clark does, but it's still a good issue. I look forward to picking up issue 2. I believe it's going to be coming out early June. But this pretty much wraps up my video here on Smallville. Would love to hear what other fans of Smallville have to say, both about the TV show and the first issue. And if you haven't done also already, please subscribe. Feel free to comment. I'm wrapping up this video. And until next time, later.